LEGO Legends of Chima, a LEGO theme we lost 10 years ago, yet still holds its place as one of the best themes in LEGO's recent history. November 22nd marks 10 years since the final episode of Legends of Chima aired, so in honour of this, I thought we'd take a look back at each wave in a mini-series of all the sets that were released all that time ago, starting off in the first episode with the very first wave. This is RusticCastle from the Chi Markets, and welcome to a LEGO Chima Look Back. The first wave of LEGO Chima brought us some great sets. In fact, it was one of the biggest releases at that time. These sets included Rascal's Glider, Crawley's Claw Ripper, Lennox Lion Attack, Eris Eagle Interceptor, Wax's Pack Tracker, Laval's Royal Fighter, Cragger's Command Ship, Razar's Chi Raider, and Aquilla's Ultra Striker. So as you can see here are all the sets from the Wave 1 release. Now let's go through and take a look at all of these brilliant sets. Starting off here then with Rascal's Glider, the smallest set of the wave. We'll start with the minifig. As you can see, of course, this is Rascal, the first Raven minifig that we see. A great minifig. Honestly, like all the Chima minifigures, the detail on these is absolutely amazing. I find it fascinating how much detail was on the minifigs for a theme that was made 10 years ago. So, onto the actual build then. We can see it's just a small little Raven glider. We've got wings that can articulate. Of course, the Chi at the back, the source of power in LEGO Chima. And of course, it's powering the vehicle. Or if it's not powering the vehicle, you're stealing it from the lions. We have on the underneath, you can see here, we've got something that is able to push. And this simply fires out this flick fire missile that is on a chain. Obviously it didn't come out then, but then if you push it a little bit harder, there you go, fired out. And that is attached to the chain, like I say. And then on this side, we have got this weapon here that actually detaches and turns into Rascal's weapon. So as you can see here then, Rascal holding his weapon as so. A great set to kick off this theme, and of course to kick off this very first wave. A nice small little set. Obviously it didn't retail for very much given the size, but a great one to start collecting your LEGO Chima theme. Next up we have got Lennox Lion Attack. Now this vehicle is slightly bigger and of course it's on wheels. Now as you can see, this comes with two minifigures, starting off with this brown crocodile. He is of course called Crug. Now he does come with a big blaster. Unfortunately I don't have it now since it's been 10 years of having this set. But yeah, comes with a big blaster, you'll see it on screen now. And then of course, the owner of this fine vehicle, Lennox the Brave. He gets that nickname because he made it up himself. But yeah, so that's Lennox. Once again, nice printing on both of these minifigures, as is the usual with these Chima figs. So now, let's take a look at the vehicle. So taking a look at the vehicle itself then, as you can see, we'll start off at the back. You can see here we've got the Chi that is always either powering the vehicle or being retrieved or stolen, whoever's vehicle it's in. But we can see this set has plenty of stickers on the side, which is honestly great. Obviously nowadays we prefer printed and a lot of people prefer print, but there is some great stickers in use for this set. But we've got this Chi, and as you can see here, now this should have an elastic band attached to it, but like I say, it has been 10 years. And there's discs in here that usually shoot out of the mouth. A great play feature. At the front here, we do not only have those discs that fire out the mouth, but we have these big blasters. One of them, of course, for show. The other one is a flick fire missile. If I shoot it at the wall, there we go, and I won't actually lose it. So a great small set, some great play features, and honestly the way that they make these animal themed vehicles is just brilliant. The way they've done this lion head and the mane is superb, and of course we have these blue tubes here signifying that it is a Chi powered vehicle. On to the third set in this wave then. This is of course Crawley's Claw Ripper. Now this one of course comes with Crawley, our second crocodile that we are seeing in this wave. This time here's a nice olive green colour which really shows off those crocodile scales, as you can see all over the headgear. And one thing to mention as well with these Chima figs is of course they do have two-sided heads. So once again, nice printing as always. Moving on, there is of course Leonidas, another lion, the second lion we see in this wave, this time with an orange mane rather than the reddish brown. And you'll also notice there is only one strap across the chest, and then the same printing on the legs. Onto the vehicle itself then. This has a special place in my heart because it is the first LEGO Chima vehicle that I ever got, and of course it is just a great set in general, one of the cooler sets I think, of course because of the treads that move around that are great at taking down enemies, as we can see, and they can just cruise straight over. And then they also flick back on the reverse, although this one isn't doing it, once again showing its age, but they flick forward when they're going and they should flick back as so. A great play feature. And of course we can see, if I move these back, a wonderful crocodile jaw. I think it's once again same with all of these sets. The way that they've done the animal heads is brilliant. And of course stickers again, as is typical with these sets. And we've got some huge wheels at the back here, which I think are brilliant. They really show what the crocodiles are made of. They are the big bad tribe, at least in season 1 anyway, no spoilers. In here there is usually a chi crystal that is being stolen. Once again, usually it's being stolen, sometimes they get it fairly, like all tribes in Chima should. But yeah, a great set. Like I say, my favourite set of the first wave, just because it's the first LEGO Chima set that I ever owned. So let's move on to the next set. Alright, so moving on then, here we have, of course, this is Eris's Eagle Interceptor. Now this will, of course, give you the minifigure Eris. She is, of course, the princess of the Eagle tribe and is one of the main characters in the show. The other two minifigs are ravens. These are the bad guys for this set. This is Razar, he is sort of the main guy of the Raven tribe, and then this is Rizzo. And of course Rizzo, as you can see, has the metal leg, he has some issues with his eyes, and then Razar has a hook hand. This is because the ravens are a bit of a scavenger tribe. They live in a bit of a junkyard, they take scraps, they sell stuff, they try and trade stuff, etc, etc. Now this is the first time in these sets that we do get a side build. This is a small raven plane. Now it is smaller than Rascal's glider, it just has these small feather pieces for the wings. Once again, more stickers, a little bit of movement here, and then these blades at the bottom. And of course you can just grab a minifig, put them in sitting position, sit them down, of course lift their arms up, and there you go, in position, ready to fly in and attack the interceptor. So here we go then, the Eagle Interceptor. Of course this is a jet plane with huge wings, obviously on ball joints so that we can move them wherever. Now these wings do have red missiles. These aren't flick-fire missiles however, but as we can see there is some here that will fire out. I'm never finding that again. Once again, more stickers. Cockpit here, of course, lifts up to allow minifigs in. Now this has just dropped off. That is something that keeps happening with mine. I think it's just a bit loose, but there we go. Like I say, sit a minifigure in. Now in order for Eris to actually fit in, what you have to do is take the wings off like so, and what you can then do, open up the cockpit, put her arms up, get her in position, don't lose the headpiece, and she slots in like so. And then if the ravens are able to succeed and they blast down one of these wings, then this is actually an escape pod, and you can fly safely to the ground. At the top here we have this nice engine, looks brilliant, I like the way they've done that. And at the back we have got, once again, more feathers and some nice storage. We can trap either prisoner in here, it doesn't really shut, but you can either fill it with chi, fill it with weapons, fill it with minifigs, and then finally at the bottom, the feet, of course, have nice jets that work really well. These can also be articulated, so you can set them into like flight mode and fly across. But that is everything there is to show for this Eagle Interceptor. A great set, really nice play features, and of course, great playability given the fact that there is 3 minifigs and also 2 vehicles. Here we have Wax's Pack Tracker, a really nice vehicle for this theme, and of course for this wave. Really nicely done, but we'll get onto that in a moment. We'll start off with the minifigs. First of all, the good guy for this set, this is Aquilla, and another eagle, the second eagle that we see in this wave. A really nice one. Obviously we've got the black goggle pieces, or at least some people think they're goggles, some people don't. But I think given that we've got that there, that is a dead giveaway, but they are goggles. And then, once again, very similar to Eris. Then we have got the 2 wolves for this set. This is of course Wax, it is his pack tracker. And then we have got Windsor, 2 great minifigs, and the first wolf minifigs that we see in the wave. Moving on to the vehicle then, this is a great one, many different features. The first feature to note is the moving jaw when it is rolling along. Now this is just because the wheels spin around, and as you can see here, this sticks up and it moves the jaw up and down. And then the next play feature, of course, is dead obvious. It is the big cannon on top, and obviously it's one of the old-fashioned cannons where you do that and it fires. Now that one actually fired all the way over on my landscape. Okay, so moving on, there is also at the back here a nice chain with a hook on like this, which is almost like an anchor, and it can come down as so. Then we have these massive thrusters with the flames that of course act like jet power to make this vehicle go super fast, and then in order to accommodate that super speed we've got massive tyres so that it can traverse all of the terrain in the land of Chima. And to finish off this set, we'll talk about the head as well. Of course, like the same of all of these vehicles, really nicely done in the way that they've shaped the wolf head, and then we of course have the chi on top powering the vehicle. Moving on to Laval's Royal Fighter then, the bigger lion vehicle in this wave. This one once again comes with 3 minifigures. Of course we can see the return of Crawley, so we won't look into him too much as we of course have already seen him. The 2 new minifigures we are introduced to are Longtooth, the lion warrior, making sure that Laval does not get into trouble. And then we finally meet the protagonist of our series. This is of course Laval the lion, prince of the lion tribe. Also it's just started raining, so sorry if you can hear that. But yeah, here we have Laval, the protagonist of the series, a great minifig, and of course a great character. Moving on to the vehicle itself then, we have got multiple features on this vehicle. The first one being of course this jaw. Now it does move slightly, you don't really need to move it because it doesn't really shut all the way, so it's fine as it is. Next we of course have the main lion head, and when I say main I don't mean main, but the big lion head, and then the mane. And then at the top here obviously you can see the cheese, both cheese, one at the back as well, powering the vehicle, as it is a bigger vehicle so it needs more power through these tubes. But like I say, at the top here we have got a nice looking weapon, almost like a minigun type weapon, and of course this can be controlled here. a really nice one. So this is what either Longtooth will be controlling, or Laval sometimes. A really nice feature to have. And of course it doesn't actually shoot anything, but it does spin around at the nozzle here. And then moving on to the back, of course you can see the massive treads, and moving round to the back we have got this panel here that comes down and it shows a map or a radar. Now obviously the sticker placement there isn't great, but you know, you'll have to allow me, it was 11 years ago, I would have only been 10 years old. Yeah, a great set. Unfortunately it is not very bulky, it's a little bit scarce, you can see a lot of the Technic pieces, but I don't mind it. I think it works really well for a play set, and it does the job that it was made to achieve. A really, really nice set. So here we are then, moving on to the biggest release of Wave 1 of Legends of Chima. This is Cragger's command ship, one of the most recognisable LEGO Chima sets that there is. Now, there is a lot of minifigs in here, so we'll brush over them and take more detailed look into the ones that we have not yet seen. So of course, we have already seen both of these two lions. Of course, we've got Lennox and Leonidas. This time Lennox has a nice golden harness. Finishing off on this plate then, we have got Razar. Now this is sort of like the elder of the Raven tribe, as you can see, with the crown there on his head. A very nice minifig. Then we now have 3 crocodiles. So we'll start off, this is King Crominus. Now some of you will know that it's a bit odd that we got him in this set due to reasons in the show. Obviously I won't say them because of spoilers, but a very nice minifig nonetheless, very wise in his ways. Then we have got his daughter, Crawley. Now she is very mischievous, she likes to cause chaos, as you've seen in the shows, or not seen. I would recommend go take a look at the show, it's really, really good, but a nice minifig nonetheless. And then we of course have Cragger, Prince of the Crocs, a great minifig, a nice cape. Obviously he doesn't have the cape in the show, but a nice cape nonetheless for the minifig, and obviously we can see the scar on his face. A really, really nice, well-detailed minifig. So moving on to the actual set then, plenty of features to look at, so we'll blast through them. First of all, we have got the side bills. This is 2 Lion jet skis to try and keep up with this thing, although I wish them good luck because it'll be very hard. So on to the main vehicle then. As you can see, there is so much to go over, but we will start at the very front with the jaw. Of course, this can open and close, and you'll be able to put some figs in there like a prison. And then moving across, we have got the big talons acting as claws, and then these boats come off like so. And these are mini boats, get ready to release into battle. Then moving up, we of course have the 2 cockpits, one for the driver, one for the passenger, that has various controls in. Of course, if you're the passenger, then you can lift up the jaw, release the smaller boats, and also move on and control what we have at the back. Of course, lots of space to store minifigs, and then at the back we have got these articulating propellers. Now the reason that they can articulate is not only for speed in the water, but this also lifts off and turns into what we now call the Helicrocter, which is obviously a play on words, helicopter for the Crocs, and it is a nice flying vehicle. Now you can twist that round like so, and it makes for a nice one upside down, or the proper way like this, and it flies, or once again, either way, it's great that you can have plenty of choice. And then the tail as well, and then of course we have got the blaster at the top that can move around like so. But yeah, a great playset of course. And then underneath here, before I put this back on, you can see it's got the works of the engine, and it's got double chi power because obviously it's a huge vehicle, and then there is some weapon storage as well. Now I won't go into too much more detail on this set because there isn't already a review on the channel that Vanguard did, so please feel free to go back and have a look. But let's move on to the next set. Alright, so moving on then, here we have Razar's Chi Raider. Now this is our first big Raven vehicle. The minifigures that come with this set is of course the return of Razar and Razar. We won't go over them as we have already done so. But then we get a new Eagle minifigure. This is Iwa, very, very similar to Aquilla, but he just doesn't have the goggles. Okay, and then moving on to the vehicle, we have got a side build first of all for Iwa. This is just a small Eagle blaster. Now there is also like another side build, a smaller build that has like a chi crystal, and that's sort of like what they're fighting for. I'll put that on screen now, and then we'll move on to the actual vehicle. So what we've got then is similar to the Eagle Interceptor in the sense that of course it is a Raven jet, and what we do have is once again articulating legs for when it's in flight mode, and also these legs are great because the feet are big enough for it to carry itself and stand up itself, because it's a fairly chunky vehicle. It's made to look like it's made out of scraps from the Raven junkyard, and I think it does that really well by using the dark greens and the purples and the dark reds and of course the blacks. And then we have got flick fire missiles. Once again, I'll show them off just because I have to and I will lose them all. But yeah, flick fire missiles on either side, articulating wings, the first ones at the side, and then the tail wings as well, or the tail feathers I should say. Once again, chi in the middle powering the vehicle, and then a little space for a Raven to sit or maybe even trap someone. And then similar with a lot of the vehicles, some blue tubes to signify that it's powered by chi. So the Raven sits in as so. You open up the cockpit, and this time it can actually fit in with its wings. So unlike the Interceptor where you can't fit in with wings, you can actually keep the wings on and they fit in very nicely. My favourite Raven vehicle, obviously because it is the biggest, but also I think it's really effective in the way that it's been designed, and it is built extremely well. Alright, so the final set in this first wave release is of course Aquilla's Ultra Striker. Now, we've got two new minifigures. We have got Eagle, the eagle, a nice looking eagle, a dark blue as opposed to the traditional white. We have got Aquilla, who we have already seen already. And then we have got Wilhurt the wolf, a black wolf as opposed to the greys or light greys. A really, really nice minifig with some great detail, and doesn't he just look extremely menacing? On to the actual set then. As you can see, this is a Eagle land vehicle, so opposed to a flying vehicle, it of course has the big treads, and it is used to maneuver the lands of Chima. So, getting straight into it, we can see there is plenty of feather detail on the set, even at the back here. And speaking of the back, you can see the massive tyre, and of course you can also see up here there is obviously this tail that can move, but there is something that can push out, and of course when you push out, this releases the cockpit, just the same as like the Eagle Interceptor. There is like a little getaway, and of course you can fly the wings out and it can fly away. So it's similar in the sense that in the cockpit the Eagle can fit in, but you have to take the wings off, and it just fits back on extremely easily like so. And then at the side here, alright, so at the side here, on both sides, we have got the blue tubes, obviously signifying that it is chi powered. But then we, of course, once again, have these blasters. That one came right back at me, and then similar, straight back at me. So yeah, we've got those blasters on the side, and what they can do, actually, is they can move up. Of course, it's not very stable, as you've just seen, but they can be moved up to create like a big, more menacing vehicle. But that is the final set of the wave. And just to mention as well, the nice gold talons, I think that's a really, really nice feature. But that is the final set of wave 1 of Legends of Chima. There are a few more sets in this wave, but these are what we call speedos. I have actually been over all of the speedos in a previous video, so feel free to check that out if you haven't already. But that does sum up this video. So I would like to thank you guys very much for joining me on this LEGO Legends of Chima Look Back. I hope to see you in next episode where we take a look over wave number 2. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed, join the Discord if you would like, and of course, stay legendary.